Well, happy Tuesday evening. How is everybody doing today? I'm hoping you can hear me okay. It's looking like things are going out properly here on this end. So, got a few folks in here tonight. Let me do a quick rundown what I have currently. Camp Patton Family Compound, Geeky Gardens, Morris Patch of Heaven Homestead, Ray's Homegrown Vegetable Garden, Robin's Tiny Homestead, She Move Mountains, the Homegrown Variety Show. So, I've probably missed a couple. Farming Our Backyard, hello. So how is everybody doing on a Tuesday evening? We'll kind of let a few people get in here. Had a couple questions this week on doing voiceovers, and I have two editing programs here that I used to just recommend Filmora to people, and lately that's not my first choice. It would have to fall more on the Power Director. So I have both Filmora 9 and Power Director loaded up here to show you how to do voiceovers with those two programs. With any editing program, it should be a similar process. They may call it different things, but the process nevertheless should pretty much be the same.
There's Naturally NC.
Naturally NC. Congratulations on winning your tickets. So, did they send us an email?
No, I posted it on Facebook.
Oh.
She just said she just found out.
Okay. All right. Auto Salvage Outlaws. White Picket Fence. Allie, how are you doing this evening? Okay, let's go ahead and jump into this once with let's do it with Filmora 9 first, because that's what, almost 2 years ago started doing this. About almost 2 years ago we started doing this. At that time I recommended Filmora. It was not Filmora 9, it was just they only had I think version 8 was out then. They have since made some improvements, and they've made some things that make it a little tougher. So it's still a good editing program. Almost any editing program is a good editing program. If it can do what you want it to do, it's a good program. I don't care who makes it or what they do. So anyway, let's bring Filmora into the screen here, and before you can do any kind of voiceover, you got to have something to do a voiceover on, sort of. Filmora has a feature where, if you notice right here, and I'm trying to see if this is going to show up, and it doesn't look like it is. It's not showing the mouse. Let me all right, let me bring a different screen over. Okay, so now you're able to see the mouse. Right up above the importing window here, there is a section called Record. And if you use a little arrow to drop it down, you'll find that it says You can record from your webcam, you can record a PC screen, or you can record a voiceover. The question specifically was on recording voiceovers, so that's what we're going to just kind of show you here a little bit tonight. Let me go ahead and import. Let me import an older project. That would just be. Here, we'll do it this way. Open project, and we will do. Okay, this was a project that we did prior to the Bayou Bash to show off the kitchen boas that Sherry makes. And so the video itself is located on this line where you see it highlighted in blue. If you wanted to do a voiceover here, and let me just play a little bit of this so you can see what we currently have.
Okay, so still sitting here in my sewing room, craft room, whatever you want to call it. Had a nice.
And I have the sound turned off here, so I can't hear any of this. I'm just going by the meters.
Daughter-in-law came for a visit. Sean is going.
So we're gonna pause that. If you're gonna do a voiceover of what you have here, the first thing you want to do, in my opinion, anyway, is you want to detach the audio file. When you import it from your phone, when you import it from most cameras, you're going to have a video row and an audio row where they're connected together. I just detached the audio file from the video. And I kind of want you to pay attention here. I have a little bit of... It detached from the audio, from the file up here, but it has additional audio pieces right at the very beginning and right at the very end. So it didn't do anything with those. Let me go back. We'll back this up a step so you can see the way it was before. So if you look, well, that got away from me. Let's squish this back up. So if you look here, right at the beginning of the front here, I have a, well, it's under me. You can't see it. You can see this one on the right, lower right-hand side. Or you can see just a piece of it. See if I can get that a little bit better for you. No, it's clearing out the very bottom. So the way you remove the audio file from a video file will vary from program to program, but typically you can just go in and you can highlight the video file. If you do a right click, it'll give you a bunch of options, different things you can do. Most programs are like this. I wouldn't have to do it in this fashion. To me, it's a shortcut. I can also go here and I can go into I'm just used to doing it that way. So we're going to detach the audio file. Let me scroll this down so you can see it clear down here at the very bottom. How can I show you this better? Let me so just clear down at the very bottom. I think that'll help. I think you can see it a little bit better there now. You can see the audio file is located clear down here on the very bottom now. And if we are going to do a complete replacement of this audio file, and that's how we're going to address it at this point in time, you can take this and highlight it, delete it. So at this point, there's no audio for the main part of this video file. You move your timeline clip to where you are going to want to start to do the voiceover. Now I have, and I'll just play this. I have some beginning music, but obviously at this point there isn't any. So to do a recording here, if you go up to record a voiceover, and you will probably have to set up, depending upon your situation, you may have to set up a specific microphone for the program to use. In this case, for me here, I'm using a soundboard. I have the mic that I'm talking into that you're all hearing me through. And, but if I use the drop down, that's interesting. I only showed one other. But this is for my soundboard coming in. Check your settings, and of course you can do this many times until you're comfortable with it. Once you have it set up, you say okay. So now you're ready to go. And I guess I should have stated you can do that ahead of time. So in recording the voiceover, when you're ready to record in Filmora 9, the big red microphone button here, you just simply press record. It gives you a brief countdown so you can collect your thoughts. And at this point right now, it is recording. So what I'm doing here is I'm watching the video play, and I'm just talking about it. Now I can be talking about what Sherry's doing here. I can be talking about the Bayou Bash that's going to be on July 6th. Obviously it was. I can talk about she's sitting in her sewing room here, and the forum thing here behind her, that's named Matilda. We won't go into why that is, but that's Matilda. And this is her craft room that she does a lot of sewing, couple sewing machines, and enough fabric in there that she could probably, well, I don't know what all she could recover, but she's got fabric in there that goes on and on and on of all different colors. I'm getting looks, but she does. And she makes a lot of really neat things. So if you folks, all right, we'll do a commercial here. If you folks are interested, do you have these on the Etsy store?
Not yet.
They're not on our Etsy, but
I'm going to take pictures probably tomorrow and see if we can do a slideshow, and Sebastian's going to put them up on the website. Okay.
Well, if anybody out there has an interest in a kitchen boa, and they're not just for kitchens, they're not just for ladies. But what this is a deal that hangs around your neck, or could slip under your belt, and at the end of it is like washcloths or rags, if you would. So if you're a mechanic, you're out working on a car, you got a rag real nice and handy right there. You can keep one side, there's one on each side, there's 2 rags. You can keep one side clean and make the other side greasy. Just remember which ones you're doing when you're wiping the sweat off your head. So anyway, we're recording this, and I'm going to stop it now. And as you can see, this program just put this video file, the audio file, right in place here where I had it. So I'm going to move the timeline back. Let me slip on my headsets here, and we'll play this, see what it sounds like. And at this point right now, it is recording. So what I'm doing here is I'm watching the video play, and I'm just talking about it now. I can be talking about what she's doing here. I can be talking. Okay, you're probably hearing. Let me stop it. It's going to be on July. You're hearing a lot of distortion. There's something incorrect with my setting here, but I think you can still get the idea. Let's let me just get rid of that file. And I have an idea because I'm using the mic to drive OBS as well as this program and other things on here that could have been the issue. Let's go back in. That is the proper setting. Okay, we'll just try it again. So it gives it the countdown, and I'm going to try to watch a little closer, and it should be recording now. I'm going to turn this down a little bit, see if that helps. We'll turn this down and see if that gives a better result. I know I'm a bit quieter out there for you folks, but we'll see what it does here on this end. So anyway, that should be a good enough test. We'll stop it. And I'm going to try to watch a little closer. And it should be recording now. I'm going to turn this down a little bit, see if that helps. And that helps a bunch. It's not overdriving it at this point. A better result. I know I'm. So don't be afraid to make multiple tries and copies and so forth. What it does here on this end. So anyway, that should be a good enough test. All right, so that's a basic way that you would put a voiceover in using Filmora 9. So let's take a look at Power Director here once, and we'll bring that onto the screen. It's a similar appearance, but this is Cybernetics Power Director. So again, let's just bring in a all right, this was a project that I did here a couple weeks ago. And this was just a file that I made to showcase different venues that we were going to be at. So again, we'll kind of play this here now. Okay, so what I'm going to do on this one, because this is an actual video that I created out of still items, with the exception of the background. The background is it's a very short, repeated background that moves, if you would. The rest of these are all JPEGs. I use some music, put in some different titling. So what I'm going to do here to record this, to record a voiceover, they have a little microphone over here on the far left-hand side. So I'll click on that microphone. The device is correct. I'm going to turn the input down a little bit, based upon the experience that we had here with the other one. I'm looking to see how the meters on it are looking. That kind of peaks out, so let me bring it down just a little. Okay. Now this one, there's a couple advantages with Power Director. I can elect to mute everything else by just clicking this box, so I don't have to get rid of the sound. I can just mute everything. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just mute everything. I'm going to leave this music in here as is. I'm going to play this back, and I'm going to add sections in here where it shows the different venues. So I can do this with multiple clips. I can just start, for example, right here with the Pratt Family Homestead Hootenanny. And I will just record. So I'm recording now, and one of the venues we are going to be at is the Pratt Family Homestead Hootenanny, and that is located in Michigan. Then we're going to go to the conference put on by Off Grid with Doug and Stacy in September, I think. We're going to Grand Rivers, Kentucky, September 14th for the Heartland Homesteaders Old Fashioned Picnic. And Front Royal, Virginia will be at the Homesteaders of America Conference. That'll be in October 11th and 12th.
Carol, does it give you option to delete your voiceover if you don't like it?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You can go in and you can take any piece here and delete what you want. Now, I stopped that in the middle, but we still have, in this case, the sound capture was put in clear down here at the bottom. And I'm going to turn off the music sound. I'm going to go back to the beginning of where I started talking. Let's see how this sounds. So I'm recording now, and one of the venues we are going to be at is the Pratt Family Homestead Hootenanny, and that is located in Michigan. Then we're going to go to the conference put on by Off Grid with Doug and Stacy. And okay, so that's in there pretty much the way that I would have expected to come in. Now here's one of the things you can do in this program that you cannot do in Filmora. I'm going to go ahead and turn that music back on, just so you can hear it as is here. Okay, you could barely hear my voice over top of that. I could turn the volume up on the voice line here, but here's something else I can do. I can come up here to this music track. I can do a right click and I can say edit audio, and let's do some audio ducking. And this is not duck like you have out by the barn. This is where it controls the volume automatically. So I have it set. I have sensitivity, the amount of reduction, how quick it fades out, how quick it fades back in. And I have this set on the line with the music because that's the one I want to control. So we'll say okay. And it went in and it determined where I was talking, and it's going to lower the volume of the music at that time. So we'll play back a little bit of this. So I'm recording now, and one of the venues we are going to be at is the Pratt Family Homestead Hootenanny, and that is located in Michigan. Then we're going to go to the conference put on by Off Grid with Doug and Stacy. In September, I think, we're going to Grand Rivers, Kentucky, September 14th for the Heartland Homesteaders Old Fashioned Picnic. And Front Royal, Virginia will be at the Homesteaders of America Conference. That'll be in October 11th and 12th. Okay, and it picked up right in this area. It was actually picking up Sherry talking to me, and that's why it didn't bring the music back in right away until I stopped it. But that's how the audio ducking works. And of course, the other thing you can do is you can just turn that off. You can place bits and pieces of music files wherever you want it, wherever you're not talking. The program is a wonderful program. It's my first recommendation for anybody wanting to get started on editing their videos. The Power Director is, well, it's very highly rated. It used to be more expensive than what it is now. The prices have come down. There's a lot of different options. And there are some options in buying it. I mean, they have a whole suite of programs. They have some tools to alter the length of music. They have an audio editor.
What version is this, Daryl?
This is version 17. Now let me just back up here. Okay, so I have this, and I'm just going to show you this for an example. But I have this music custom length to this particular piece. But I'm going to replace it with a different piece of music. So I'm going to take this out. And let me go grab a piece of music. It doesn't, I mean, at this point, it really doesn't matter what it is, but okay. So this piece of music is considerably longer. It's 2.5 minutes. This entire project wasn't that long. So there's a couple ways I could take a piece of music and make this fit. I could come to the end of the video clips that I made, and I could just cut the clip, delete the back end of it. If I want it to fade out, I can back the timeline marker up just a little bit. I can go into my adjustments here. This is on 2, audio 2, and I can click on the taper mark here. It will actually it'll just reduce the volume right here at the very end. Bring it down to nothing, so it will sound. Okay, so I can do it like that. Now let me back up. We'll get it the entire length again. Another way I can do this is to put it in the Cybernetics Audio Director is the program that it's called. And I'm going to have to change this so you folks can see it. Okay, so this is the music in the Power Director, in the Audio Director. And if I go up here to Mix, and I take that piece of music that I just sent to this program and bring it in here to this top line, I can then go into Adjust Audio. I have all of these different pieces. This is some stuff we can talk about some other time in the future. But the really, really neat thing about this is they have a auto remix to adjust the length of this file. So this is a piece of royalty-free music from the YouTube library. It's currently 2 minutes, 34 seconds, and 34.580 seconds for this particular piece of music. I can adjust the length of this. So typically, you're going to want to make it longer. So just to show you how this works, I'm going to change the 2 minutes to 3 minutes. And my video that I just created, for example, I'm going to say is 3 minutes and 45 seconds. I'm going to click Apply. And this has just changed the length of this to be that length. It is actually remixed. I know it's very difficult for you to see, but there's little squiggly lines in here where it has repeated different areas. I get the timeline right in front of one of the repeats here. So you couldn't even really hear where that was. And then I can save this as a new file. Now, in this particular case, I come back into here. Probably isn't going to let me work on this. But I can see about what it is. 10:28, is that correct? Let me just cancel this. Okay, yeah, this is 1 minute, 11 seconds. 1 minute, 11 seconds, 12 frames. So now if I send this to the audio director, we'll go into the mix again. And I'll bring the PC audio in here. What did I say? 1 minute, 11 seconds. I'm going to make it 1:14. Couple seconds longer. Adjust the length. We'll click apply, and it just shortened it up to that. And now,
Blissful Acres is asking, what do you recommend for a beginner?
what do I recommend for a beginner? I recommend Power Director. Power Director would be my first choice for a beginner, as long as we're talking PCs.
Does Power Director have a lifetime subscription?
No, it does not. That's the one drawback about Power Director. The program doesn't go bad. I know some people that run Power Director that's maybe 5 years old. It still works okay. It just doesn't have all these new features. But it does not have a lifetime subscription like Filmora does. But it will do so much more than Filmora. So as you can see here now, it has gone back in and has taken that 2-minute file, made it exactly the length that I wanted it. We'll go back to the beginning. So I'm recording now, and one of the venues we're going to be at is the... Okay, so that's the raw clip as it remixed it. But now I need to alter this for the voiceover. So I'll go back into the edit audio. I'll do the audio ducking. And we'll say, okay. It now sounds like this. So I'm recording now, and one of the venues we are going to be at is the Pratt Family Homestead Hootenanny, and that is located in Michigan. Then we're going to go to the conference put on by Off Grid with Doug and Stacy in September, I think. We're going to Grand Rivers, Kentucky, September 14th for the Heartland Homesteaders Old Fashioned Picnic. And Front Royal, Virginia will be at the Homesteaders of America Conference. That'll be in October 11th and 12th.
Carol, does it give you option?
Okay, so that's a very quick, easy way to do a customized voiceover to auto adjust against background music. And that's just a couple of features that you can do in Power Director. You can do all this in Filmora, but it's not automatic like this. You're going to have to manually go in and raise and lower the volume where you want it raised and lowered for the music. Just for example, the changing a length, you could use a program like Audacity and put it in and remix the length of the music yourself. It's just a lot more tedious. This is a very quick, easy way to do it. Is it perfect? No, but it does a pretty darn good job. So I'm going to look back here at the chat now and see if somebody has any questions as far as anything that we have shown you so far. And I see we got almost, 25 people or so in the chat? Looks pretty quiet. So I guess I have a question. What program are you guys currently using? Just write in the name of the program that you are using to edit your videos. Curious to see what we have out there. White Picket Fence, I use their Audio Director, which is a separate program. That's not part of the actual Power Director, but it's a complementary program. And I use that to auto adjust the volume. And because it's made by the same company, they interact. Geeky Gardens, a Linux nerd. I totally understand. Well, Berry Cottage Homestead Power Director 15. Okay, so that's a couple years older, but it still works just fine. Movie Studio 15 Platinum. I believe that's an Apple program, or you're running that on a Macintosh of some sort, some flavor. OpenShot. I believe that's a free program. Blissful Acres, Off-Grid Homestead, Filmora. Filmora is a good program. I thought it was a better program prior to version 9. It's very inexpensive for a lifetime ownership of the program, or a lifetime licensee usership of the program. I guess you never actually own it, but from a dollar and cent standpoint, it's probably the best. But you can actually pick up Power Director, the Bear video editing program, for less money, but it's not an ongoing, it's not a lifetime update. You get updates for a year after you buy the program, and then you no longer get updates. You have to buy the next version. Well, you don't have to keep talking to the end of the video. It's just like anything else. You can, depending upon your environment, and keep in mind, if you want to do a voiceover, the microphone is going to pick up the ambient noise behind you. So you can't do a voiceover if you have the TV on in the background or the radio on, or the kids are behind you on the floor playing with their toys and stuff. You just can't do that. You need a quiet, I'm going to use the term studio-like environment. In other words, it just has to be a quiet area that there's no outside distractions that take place while you're doing your voiceover. Typically, you would probably want to script it out. You want to plan what you're going to say. Whether or not you want to write it down and read it, well, that's entirely up to you. But the nice thing about this is you can do it over and over and over again until you get it the way you like it. If you see that it's a little bit off, you can slide the sound file in relationship to the video, because you're not trying to match up your voice with lips talking on the video, because it's an overview or a voiceover. Actually lining things up doesn't matter, within reason. Hi, Ethan. How you doing? "180 degrees from average ding." I thought it was dirt.
I said dirt, he said ding.
Ethan, what program are you using to edit your videos? We've had a very wet day here today. It's been raining on and off all day, sometimes pretty hard. Okay, you're using Adobe Premiere. Okay, Heritage Ways, I think it depends a whole lot on the video. If it's an instructional type video, I see absolutely nothing wrong with doing a voiceover, where the video is showing perhaps the details, or let's just say that it's instructional type video around a very, very noisy environment that you couldn't talk. At that point, a voiceover is your absolute best alternative. Okay. So one of the other thing that we kind of wanted to just mention, because we've had a couple of questions about it, is doing thumbnails for your videos. If you just upload your video that you've created from your PC, from your phone to YouTube, YouTube will randomly take 3 frames out of that video and present you with 3 different alternatives you can use as a default for a thumbnail for that video. Typically, it's not what you want. It could be. It just depends. And a lot of times actually having a frame from the video is a good start for a thumbnail. Well, with all of the programs that I've mentioned tonight, and I believe everything that I've seen fly by on the screen, you can very easily get yourself a still image from anywhere in the program So, for example, if what you see right here on the screen, upcoming 2019 event, Two-Family Homestead is planning on attending, meet us there. If I want to start with this or use this for the actual thumbnail, I can just click this little camera here and save it. Not only did it put it in a place where I have it programmed to do that, if I go back into here, I have it right here as it puts it into the media area. So then I could add it somewhere else back here into the clip. And I can make it whatever length I want. I can modify it here. I can go back and grab some other title. And go in and edit that. And let me, because that actually opened up in a different window, it wasn't showing it, so I just brought it over. So I can edit this out. I can put more text on it. I could import other pictures. I can do whatever I need to do with this to come up with the beginning of a thumbnail for that video. And I can get it all lined up. I can put it in the top left-hand corner. I can change the sizes. When I'm happy with it, I just say, okay. Put the timeline marker somewhere in the middle of it. I can take another snapshot of it. So then here is the new snapshot. It just inserts it right back into here. So that's some of the things you can do to start to create your own snapshots. So you can put in whatever kind of text that you would like to put in, contrasting colors. You can alter the colors. You can, what you can't do with the thumbnails, you can't have something that moves. So it can't be a moving thumbnail. Not for you to upload a custom one. Now, here's one of the advantages. If you like the thumbnail that YouTube has presented you with, and I'm sure most of you have seen this, if you have a page of videos up that you're glancing through and you move your mouse over, and I'm talking while you're on YouTube in a browser and you move your mouse over them, you'll see just a very short little bit of the video playing. If you're using one of their thumbnails, it takes off from where that thumbnail starts. That doesn't happen if it's your own your own custom thumbnail. Stiver's Homestead. What, the closest campground to your event is 20 miles away? 20 minutes? Okay. I've always looked at voiceover as saving me an episode because I didn't have the foresight to think about what the episode needed before I shot it. Recently, I've started to question that. I think voiceover is just another tool for you to have in your backpack. I think that if every video you made was a voiceover, unless your channel was designed around that. I mean, if everything that you did, let's just say, was related to working in a machine shop, noisy environment, welding, grinding, metal cutting, machinery banging in the background, if that was the crux of your entire channel, well, I think that a voiceover would be absolutely appropriate. And it could be that way during certain parts of your other videos that you're currently doing. If you're doing a cooking video and you put something in the blender and you turn the blender on, well, that just pretty well drowned out your video. So you could cut that section out, or you could mute that section down, or lower the volume in that section. That's a possibility. The other thing is, some people have the knack, the ability to explain things better as a presenter, as almost like an MC, master ceremonies type thing. To here's what's going on this video. They're telling a story, and I think that's an excellent reason to have a voiceover. Where I don't think a voiceover works is if the crux of your video shows a person's face with that person talking into the camera, because you can't match a voiceover to the lip movement. So as long as you're not doing that, if you're showing like looking over a shoulder, if you're showing from the side, or pointing out somewhere where they're not seeing the face of the individual doing the talking, I think absolutely a voiceover can work very well. Okay. Well, I'm going to ask here real quick, because we've been on here an hour now. If there's any questions, you have 1 minute from right now to get something typed. Otherwise, we're going to go ahead and shut her down. And be here again, what, Thursday? Thursday night. Well, it depends on location now, Ethan. I'm sure you don't want to be sitting in your car alongside a freeway or in a truck stop area or something like that. Okay. Well, thanks everybody for being here tonight. Good to see you, Stivers, Ethan, Loving Ivy Farm, Hamiltonville Farm, Mari's Vegetable Garden, White Picket Fence. Special thank you to our moderators, Granny's Florida Garden. I'm going to miss people. I shouldn't have started this. To everybody out here, appreciate you being here. Thanks so much for stopping by. And we will see you Thursday night. Take care. Bye-bye.